Hello everyone and welcome again to the Sticky Wicket podcast. This is the weekly cricket show about the wonderful world of international cricket created for you by four fans of the game. I'm Joe. As ever, I'm here joined by Marty. G'day mate.
Hi Joe, how are you?
And g'day Cheese.
Evening Joe.
And hello Ed.
Hi Joe.
And on the show this week, we're going to be talking about some news coming out of the County Championship arena this week. Certainly about Essex to begin with, opposing the new T20 format, the second team to do so. We're also going to go on and talk about the second round of results that came through over the weekend. Some very interesting individual performances to discuss and team ups and downs, as always, there as well. I'm going to do the quiz this week, and then we're going to go on and give you an update on the IPL. Talk about the two teams that have each been nominated and talk about how we're doing there. So, again, a pretty mixed bag. But as always, we'd like to get everybody else's thoughts. We're on Twitter at CricketPod. Please get involved with the discussions. I think there's going to be quite a lot going on this week regarding some of the stuff we're talking about with the IPL and the County Champs. You can also find us on the SoundCloud and on iTunes and on various other podcasting platforms. If you'd like to subscribe to us there, you can get this and every other podcast every week sent to your phone or tablet. But we're going to start this week. I think that the best place to start, boys, is the news that came out today that Essex have come out and opposed, even though they voted for the new T20 format a few weeks ago, they've actually come out and said they're not really for what was put forward by the ECB. This is off the back of Middlesex doing that last week. It's beginning to look a little bit suspicious about what's happening with all this, and you wonder how many more teams are going to come crawling out the woodwork over the next few weeks.
Well, I think that's right, Joe. I think last week we were saying that it looks... Now, we suspect that potentially there could be a conspiracy going on here.
Yeah.
Or at least collusion. And, I think at the time we perhaps suggested that Surrey may be the team that comes out and, basically speaks against the new T20 competition in support of Middlesex. But, I think it's interesting that it's Essex. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised to see next week we're ready another team, and then the week after another team, and maybe they're trying to get some kind of momentum to build to protect their position.
It's a very difficult one. Obviously, I think as we discussed last week with Middlesex in particular, and that's why we mentioned Surrey. You could almost see coming out and saying something like this as well, because they make so much money from their home games as it is in the NatWest T20, selling out their grounds on Thursdays and Friday, big grounds obviously at the Oval and Lords. But Essex obviously are not one of those major teams. They're not a big ground, but I think
what's their average attendance though? I can imagine it'd be quite high. Wouldn't it?
I guess they sell out Chelmsford.
Yeah, it's normally about 8 to 10. They put a bit of temporary stands up. It normally looks, when Bumble's chasing over into the lake behind, it looks like a good night there all the time. It looks like good fun. Yeah. So that'll be where they earn nearly all their revenue.
So they'd be one of those teams that would stand to lose a fair bit, wouldn't they? It's just by getting people through the door.
Yeah, but do you think they make more than 1.3 million out of those nights?
Yeah, but it's more about than just the money, though, isn't it? Because this is about getting people into the gate to watch their team. To get people to getting a full house to watch a county team. And without that, they're not going to get it ever, are they? We're talking the other week about potentially Essex playing, where was it? At the Olympic Stadium, wasn't it?
Yeah, potentially, yeah.
In London. So, if they did that, then all of a sudden Chelmsford becomes back to being an old county ground and getting, two men and their dog to watch every second weekend.
Yeah. The Essex chairman today, in a statement that they came out and when they were, coming out as opposing this tournament, he said that amongst other things he said was he felt that the first class game will be diminished in contradiction to the ECB's objective, which is to grow the game in this country, and objected that is unlikely to be advanced by a competition which would exclude large areas of the country from any involvement in it. So you can obviously see that they obviously feel like they're not going to be hosting any games, or there won't be any cricket played up in their part of the world, which obviously covers.
Well, there won't be, will there?
No, effectively.
Not T20.
No,
they'll still play all their other.
But it's politics, isn't it? Because like Ed just said before, are they going to make £1.3 million from their home games anyway?
Yeah.
I
can't imagine they do on those gates. There must be a sweet deal for a club like Essex, 1.3 million.
It's political speak. There's something else going on behind the scenes that they're trying to work out, that they're all trying to work out. They can't...
Well, you wonder what happens if they come back and offer them 3.3. Yeah. I bet I know what the answer would be.
Yeah.
So it's possible that they're sort of...
It's like if somebody tries and buys your house and you always refuse the first offer. Yeah. I reckon it's it's along those sorts of lines. Yeah. It's a bargaining thing at the moment because, they say about like not growing the game, but I think we've come to the realisation that if we don't do this, the game might die. So that's the ironic thing. By sticking with what we're doing, we're probably not we're not moving with the times, are we? With the other big leagues around the world. So, ironically, I think he's wrong in saying that point. Yeah,
and I noticed as well today that Kent have asked their members and supporters to give them further feedback before they come out and make a decision.
There you go.
Surrey Director of Cricket Alex Stewart has also expressed concern over the details.
Well, Surrey's always been against us, haven't they? I mean, for the word
so.
go,
I bet Surrey make more than 1.3, don't they?
But three or four weeks ago, for all intents and purposes, this was ready to roll, wasn't it?
Well, it got voted in, but of course, I mean, again, going back to the process of how it was being voted in, because it was voted for by the 18 first-class counties plus the MCC plus all the minor counties, which makes up 41 votes. I think they almost all voted for it, apart from one or two. But it's almost like they've done that because then the ECB can go away and put something together to present to them. But then now there's no kind of formal process, so they can just come out and make statements like this and basically cause trouble.
They're only voting on a constitution change at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah.
So we don't actually know. Like we don't know as a public. I don't know whether the counties know how the ECB would even split the whole country up.
Yeah, we don't know where the 8 teams will be.
No, what cities, etc., etc. So, I mean, at the moment they just need enough votes to say that this competition now doesn't have to involve every single one of the first class counties. So I guess they're trying to steamroll it through, and then.
Do you think that there's a potential that they have?
They must have told the counties behind the scenes
about how the teams are going to shape, and they're kind of now manoeuvring and positioning themselves to make sure. I mean, I would, but it's a smart move. You've got to do it. You've got to get what's best for your county.
Oh, they're going to be worried, aren't they? I noticed Ian Botham has come out and said he's fully behind it, and Durham are fully behind it. But I guess they're the ones in the worst financial trouble. So
they can pay off a third of their loans with it.
1.3 million pounds. They'll be dancing down the street after that, mate.
Yeah, so it just seems like it is. I mean, you kind of saw it coming with the ECB. You knew it was going to be a messy kind of information leaks and this and that and dribs and drabs coming out, but it's happening already, and they've not even announced what it's going to be yet.
Yeah,
so
it will happen. People are going to have to get on board.
Definitely. I was thinking whether this is an elephant in the room or not. I'm not sure if it is, but in my mind it is. Why is it not just being privatised? Why not just
because some of it's being on terrestrial TV, isn't it? So.
Well, I think it's terrestrial TV, and it's not.
No, hang on.
It's not sustainable.
Do you mean privatisers in like why take it outside the ECB and
just
do it
get
that way?
Like the IPL?
Just get franchises to be created by people that want to spend a lot of money, and then make sure that there's an agreement that an amount of that money gets filtered back into the ECB, which is significantly more than £1.3 million.
I can imagine most of those players be contracted though to either the ECB or to
that's fine. Come to an agreement. Pull in the money and come into an agreement.
It would be a disaster. It just would be.
What's the big bash? Is that?
No, that's completely ACB.
That's essentially funded.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that is literally like everything in Australian cricket is from the top down. Right. Which is what's different in the Australian cricket model compared to what you've got here, where you've got the 18 counties all with a vote. In Australia, it's all from the top. So that gets filtered down to the states, gets filtered down and so forth.
Right.
So there's really no. I mean, this has all come from back in after the World Series cricket days.
Right. So empty the pockets, ECB. Basically, empty the pockets. You've got plenty of coin out there. Help the counties out.
And I guess they'll. Yeah, presumably that's what it'll come down to. But again, I mean, they're also having to throw a huge amount of money into the marketing and just setting up the whole thing. I imagine. So
they're not short of money.
No, I suppose not. Yeah, I mean, it's.
They're already for a rainy day.
They already prop up virtually all the counties as it is, and then you've got this extra money.
It's going to cost a lot to set up.
I bet some of it. The counties are getting just given to them.
Yeah,
£2.5-3 million a year by the it's all said and done. I mean, it's yeah.
Anyway, so it's just going to be a saga that's going to be going on, I think, for probably the next 3 years until it actually kicks off in the year 2020. So we've got a lot to talk about.
Well, I think I've said before, haven't we? There's two things coming up over the next 2 years. One's Brexit and one's this.
Yeah.
Which one will have the most controversy?
I'm fairly sure I know which one I prefer talking about anyway. I imagine.
When we talk about Brexit, we can do a Brexit special next week. Talk about Theresa May draining the swamp of all the remaining MPs in the next election. We can talk about that.
We could do, that'll be fascinating for all cricket fans. Anyway, we'll stay on county cricket because obviously the second round of matches I think all got underway on Friday and finished at various points over the weekend. There was some more talking points in these games. The decline of Warwickshire in these first two matches has been quite drastic. Yorkshire beat them by an innings. Young Ben Code has now taken 18 wickets in the first two championship matches. That's a Yorkshire sort of medium-fast seamer. He took 10 for at the weekend. So Yorkshire back to winning ways. Surrey and Lancashire ended up drawing a very interesting game. There's some big individual performances, which we'll come on to in a second.
The decline of Surrey.
After Marty...
sort of, but then the recovery of Surrey as well. So,
that's true.
Yet to come.
And Essex had a very good win against Somerset. I think they beat them by 8 wickets in the
Essex.
end. And Hampshire and Middlesex drew their game as well. As I said, there's some big performances. Ali Cook was back in the runs as well for Essex, which is always good to see. The other thing is an interesting point. I was reading a piece, I think yesterday. There's been some big performances so far by the Kolpak players. I know Ed is massively opposed to them, but they've battered. So people like Chanderpaul, they've sort of, these big performances have often maybe pulled out some other big performances from sort of younger guys and younger players within the team, the guys batting at the other end, whatever it might be. So the argument is, as long as they're not diluting it too much, which I know we've discussed, then it might be that they're bringing the overall standard of the competition up and might be helpful to the players around them. Discuss.
Oh, it's not like it was in the 80s and 90s, is it? When you think about some of the overseas players that are playing county cricket, and they're in their pomp as well. They're right at the peak because you didn't have all the scheduling problems. So when you had like Ambrose, who was at Northampton, wasn't he? You had Walsh at Gloucester, you had Lara at Worcester, and Alan Donald, and that's what it's about. Yeah, fair enough. Chanderpaul has been a good player. I know he got some runs, but I don't see the future in some 42-year-old West Indian guy when a young English player. The whole point is to produce English players for.
Well, I agree, but then I think the point that was being made there is that because he was at one end, then young Clark has scored his maiden ton at the other end, and he's put that a lot down to the fact that Chanderpaul was at the other end. And I know that's just a one-off and stuff, but Clark scored 140 there and they were really struggling. They were 5 down for not very many and ended up getting bowled out for 470 Lancashire. And so that it could be, if you're on that side of the argument, you could argue that that's kind of the point of them being there, because he's sort of dragging up these young players. That's a great experience for young Clark to get his first 100, and Chanderpaul probably helped him do that, and he might be a better player for it.
I don't know. I'm just doesn't sit well with me. Even from the bit about denouncing your right to play, your ability to play for
cricket.
Yeah. The whole thing just doesn't sit well with me.
I just love it that Chanderpaul hadn't been mentioned in your sort of prelude to that, Joe, and then it was straight into it, eh?
Well, and then
brilliant.
But then, conversely, it's Surrey as well. Scott Borthwick, who's obviously scored, I don't know how many centuries already, but probably several. When Surrey were clinging on at the end, 320 for 3 declared in the end, because Sangakkara was potentially at the end whilst Borthwick was scoring his first ton for Surrey. Could be the same argument.
Well, I think you're right. Absolutely. I think it was a wonderful performance from both those two players. Probably especially Sangakkara there, and I think if you ignore the Kolpak issue for a second, the fact that Sangakkara and what he does for the Surrey lineup as an amazing player at probably the twilight of his career, to put it gracefully. I think he lifts the standard of the young players around him. But I think I've read previously about the way that it's almost like a father sort of playing with young kids, but he's playing in that Surrey lineup at times.
He's old enough to be with some of them.
Well, no, he is, but he's also just the grace and the way he plays with them and so forth. Yeah. And what he did on that last day, when, let's face it, I don't think anyone gave Surrey much of a shot of saving that game. It's a game they should never have been in that position, given they had Lancashire at 5 for 60 or something. It was in that first day. In fact, last time we were doing the podcast,
that's right. 60 for 5 at lunch or something.
That's right. That's when I was saying the return of Surrey. But
that's right.
it was a wonderful performance from from Sangakkara, and I think without his performance there, I think Borthwick probably wouldn't have done what he did.
Yeah, and then you don't know what might have happened. You know, I mean, I know there were only 3 down in the end, but it would have been easy to fall apart.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm going to be in Ed's camp here because I think there's a significant difference between Sangakkara and Chanderpaul, with the fact that Sangakkara has actually been playing for Surrey for a number of years.
Chanderpaul was a great player. I'm not saying he was. I'm saying when it really worked, the whole overseas thing is when you have people, and you can't do it anymore because of scheduling. So you're never going to be able to get De Villiers at age 28 because there's just too much.
Yeah,
too much cricket.
Yeah.
So, and I don't like what the substitute is. This whole Kolpak thing. You know, like I said, when I grew up watching county cricket, I remember watching Brian Lara at Queen's Park once. So it was just awesome experience. And Azharuddin, Alan Donald. I remember seeing all these people when I was a kid. And they were in their prime.
I think it's all very true. I think just in support of the older fellas here. Well, I'm sure my father would like to hear me say that because he got quite concerned we were getting quite ageist the other week. But the new Don Bradman, I believe, had a good performance as well for Middlesex. Adam Voges.
Oh yeah,
I think he scored 95.
Oh, is he still the new Don Bradman playing, even though he's retired now?
Well, I don't know.
Retired from international cricket, huh?
I thought he passed away or something.
Speaking of ageist, excellent. Mate. So anyway, I mean, it's an interesting thing. Staying on Surrey for a moment, foot it yet again, another 5
for 118. I think he scored. I think that's
we touched on this on Friday, but I mean, if he keeps taking wickets, England will surely have their eye on them.
I think more than that. I think he's almost a shoo-in now. If he keeps this in, like, keeps this kind of form up for the summer. I mean, how could they turn him down? At least for a squad player. I mean,
well, no, he plays for Surrey. He was only 12th man. He was at Derbyshire. See, he's a shoo-in. He's a shoo-in.
I've been thinking more about this footed situation because I was listening to us talk on Friday, and I've been thinking more about it. I think England are extremely loyal, and I think they'll find it. I think that he'll find it very, very difficult to break into that bowling attack. Just because of their loyalty. Like a guy like Ball's not just going to get moved aside for Footed, regardless of what he does, regardless of what he brings to the team.
I don't think even Ball, if Wood's fit, Wokes is going to end up being 12th man, unfortunately.
It's Wood or Wokes, isn't it, for that last seamer spot at the moment. And then Ball and Footed are probably next in line, I think, after that. So, I mean, at the moment, Wokes is the man with the shirt, so he's the man to be displaced. Yeah. And I think probably, in terms of who they've got their eye on most, I think Mark Wood is probably up there. I mean, he bowled again at the weekend. He got a couple of wickets.
What about this Code lad? I've never seen him bowl before.
Yeah, so he's flying. He got a 10 for Yorkshire at the weekend. I don't think he's express by any means. I saw just his wickets on the ECB website, I think, and I think we were joking about what takes wickets in April in the county championship, and he's kind of like that. He moves it a lot. They look like I think there was 3 or 4 where the batsman left it and it just swung back or nipped back or something. Yeah. So he's clearly having a lot of fun on green April wickets. So he's moving it and swinging it quite a lot. Whether he'd be on the radar, I think he's 23, so he's been around a couple of years. But obviously Yorkshire seam attack has been brilliant for years, so he's not really been given much of a chance. So, but hopefully, I mean, there's a lot of guys unavailable in that Yorkshire side with Plunkett and Sidebottom, and Brooks is still injured, I think. So
is Willie playing?
Yeah, Willie played. Willie opened the bowling with Code at the weekend. Yeah,
was he going alright?
Yeah, he got a few wickets. Yeah. I mean, again, he's the sort of player I don't think Test match wise he's not express pace, is he?
He's too slow.
In left arm option, but I don't think he's someone who's going to take loads of Test match wickets. So I think he'll be a long way down the pecking order. But really good for the county champs, and presumably he'll be in line for a one-day spot.
Yeah, another good Yorkshireman.
Solid Yorkshireman. Yeah. Well, he's not really, but. Who signed there last year, so we'll take him.
Speaking of ageism or age-older cricketers, what about Darren Stevens at Kent? 2 games, 2 games, 3 50s, a 6-fer and a 5-fer.
Is that right? Really?
2 games, yeah.
I didn't even realise he was a bowler, but he just bowls his medium.
He bowls mediums. So he got a 5-fer in the first game, 6 in the second. He's got 3 scores of 50 out of his 4 knocks.
Just looking at the Sussex scorecard as well. When so Kent beat Sussex by 226 runs. To win their game down in Hove. And, I mean, in that second innings, Sussex back for the draw. Stevens took the top 5 wickets. Yeah. He knocked out their top 5. Yeah. Amazing.
I think he just bowls little keeper up, little kind of wobblers or whatever.
Yeah, which, again, at this time of year is really quite dangerous. Yeah. And what about Derbyshire then, Ed? What happened there? I noticed they declared 350
so
and lost.
It was a sort of colluded finish or whatever, so... it got to a certain point, the Derbyshire Openers, I think they got to about sort of 50 odd, none out each, and then Northants ended up bowling the whole team, And so Derbyshire sort of smashed it. And paid the price. I think Northampton won by 2 wickets with on the penultimate ball.
3, I think. Yeah,
3 wickets.
Yeah, 320.
Was that at the county ground or
The county ground derby? Yeah,
they probably just wanted to go home.
No, they strung it out right till the end, didn't they? But,
that's a cracking game though. It's brilliant.
It looked like a really good game, and
The other game in Div 2, good to see Keaton Jennings back in the runs. I think he got. He didn't get many in the first innings, I think, but he got 100 in the second innings. Is he still very much in line for a test spot?
Oh, he'll be starting, surely.
Yeah,
you would think. Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
He seems well liked, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I think. What about Hamid? He's. I don't think he got any at the.
not again.
The weekend.
He'll be right.
Is he injured, or did I read that?
He did. He got hit in the hand again against the university students.
Apparently he's got a bit of an issue at how low he keeps his hands, which obviously seems a bit odd. But
what do you mean?
He keeps having.
It's like Nasser Hussain. He used to sort of like jam down on it, but
closing
like
that over the top.
Yeah, so kind of drop down.
What, against the shorter ball?
And not even the really short ball, even more length. His hands were too low.
Right.
Well, that's going to go really well in Australia.
I know. Well, the problem it's a genuine worry because
he's going to break.
Because you know where Rabada, Morkel, and Stein are going to bowl to him in the summer.
Yeah.
They're going to bomb him.
Yeah.
Get a Jason Roy.
Yeah, it's that sort of thing that when you're young and coming into the side, when you step up a level,
see what happens.
It's to see whether he can react. But hopefully, he won't need a massive change in his technique because that could, that might alter things. You never know. But anyway, well, I was going to say fingers crossed then, but that's a bit.
You've brushed over Essex as well, mate. The first.
Div
1 win.
Yeah, very good win. Yeah,
off the back of Alistair Cook, but still.
Yeah, beat Somerset by 8 wickets, fairly comfortable in the end. Ali Cook back in the runs.
Yep.
I think was he unbeaten for 100 or
I think he scored.
He was out just before the end.
He scored a ton in the corresponding game last season as well. He must be one of the better first class cricketers blowing around. If when he's playing first class cricket, he scores runs.
Well, he's been the captain for 4 years.
He scored 10,000. He scored 10,000.
It's not as stupid as it sounds if you let me explain it.
He's one of the better players around. He's the best England batsman ever.
When players drop back down from international cricket, doesn't necessarily mean they still score a large quantity of runs. Cook still goes down and churns them out just like he does in a
I can't imagine Cook going out there and just not sort of just basically swishing the bat around and going at it.
Yeah.
No, he's
I just can't imagine any
player.
part of his makeup would allow him to do that.
No, it was pretty. It was steady away again. 110 off 214. Almost exactly 50% strike rate. Perfect.
The new Mark Richardson.
Those 3 shots just down to a T.
The modern day Mark Richardson.
Yeah. So anyway, overall then, what's the what are people thinking? Warwickshire going to drag it back? I mean, they've still got a great batting lineup.
Well, they have, but I thought they'd do all right. I didn't realise until I saw the Giles interview how old their squad is. I didn't really thought about that.
They are ageing badly.
There's hardly anybody under 30, and it looks like they're sort of just getting it out there that they need a rebuild or whatever.
Yeah. So interesting. So there's another round of games starting this week. So. We'll keep you up to date on that on our next pod, which will be, I think, Monday next week.
It's exciting stuff.
So we're going to move on to the quiz. I'm going to be quizmaster this week. So it's a little bit different this time. I'm just going to ask the question, and then I want you all to write down on a phone or a piece of paper or whatever. If you can...
I could be Googling at the same time here, Joe, on my phone.
It's quite dangerous, really.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you should all turn your Wi-Fi off, really. But anyway, so basically, this is seeing as it's the IPL at the moment. We haven't really had any proper questions about the IPL thus far. This is a question about. It's not about the IPL. Don't worry.
That could have got dangerous.
My pad and pen, please, Martin. I'm an old-fashioned kind of guy.
So these questions will be about. Brilliant. Sorry about that. That's good arm, that. I hope you're not a fine leg, are you? Right, so this question is about nicknames, so team names. So I'm going to give you the second name of a team, and I want you to write down in which country that team plays or has played T20 cricket.
The second name of
has played. What do you mean?
Well, because there might not still be teams. So there might be, how teams have changed their nicknames over the years. Haven't they?
That's fine.
But they're all T20 teams, so they won't be that old. Obviously in the last 12 years.
So not the old Champions League where they used to try and play the.
Yeah, all of that kind of stuff.
So wet. Oh, go.
Anyway, right. So in which country or in which league did the Phantoms once play T20 cricket?
Oh, yeah, I've got it.
Okay.
So we just write an answer.
Yeah, just write.
You just write the country.
Just write the country. Yeah,
Yeah,
I just
perfect.
want the country or the league that they played in.
Righto.
Okay. The second one is the Chargers. All right.
It's too easy.
So this again could
It
be
is
current
when you're
or
on your
past
phone.
T20 teams. The third one is the Volts. VOLTS.
They're a
Sounds
netball,
like the names of the old gladiators on the old
Yeah,
gladiators.
exactly.
program.
Yeah.
they're a netball team, aren't they?
Yeah. There might be. Number 4 is the Tridents. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Righto.
Number 5 is United.
As in cricket or football?
It's all cricket.
Is it? Right.
But yeah, as in Manchester United.
Yeah,
But
United are on the way back,
something
by the way,
else,
just
United.
as you know. Yeah. Beat Chelsea on the weekend, Matty.
Classic Mancunian over there.
We're in danger of getting none here. By the
Okay,
way.
number 6. Number 6, the Dolphins.
That's another netball team, surely.
And there's probably a lot of different teams.
I'm just going to say
Number
Australia, 'cause
7.
it
Number
sounds like-
7 is the Heat. Okay. Number 8 is the Sabres.
Oh, these are horrible.
Number 9.
Oh, it's,
All right.
slow down.
Sorry.
Wow.
Is everyone up to date?
You better read these.
Sorry.
Today I'm not.
If I'm going to leave you a massive length of time to do it, it's not going to make great
I'm
podcasting.
going to need to go back to number 5 at some point. But what was the last one anyway? Sorry, the
So
Sabres.
we're at number 8, which is the Sabres.
Sabres.
Yeah.
Where else do they play cricket?
Number 9, the Crusaders.
Cricket again.
Yeah, it's not a rugby team. I know there's one very famous rugby team where you're from, mate. But and number 10, the Phoenix.
Are these all 2020 teams or just
All
any?
2020 teams.
All 2020.
Yeah.
And you
Either
want the
past or
country.
present.
You want the country.
I just want the country that they've played
Right.
cricket in.
So I haven't got an answer for 2, 3, 4, 5, or 8. So if you could just go through those.
Okay,
ones.
so number 2 is the
Hang on.
Chargers. Shall I run through them again quickly?
I'm just having a guess here anyway.
Right, number 1, Phantoms.
I'm not guessing, mate.
2, Chargers.
Yeah.
3, Volts. 4, Tridents. 5, United. 6, Dolphins. 7, Heat. 8, Sabres. 9, Crusaders. And 10, Phoenix.
Just do 4 and 5 again very quickly.
4 is
Just take
four
a
of the,
guess.
4 of the Tridents.
Yeah.
And 5, United.
United's very, very, very difficult. That's very difficult.
Okay.
Because it's got to be a Western country, but I mean, one of the Western countries play cricket.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm leaving 5
Right.
blank.
How are we
So,
doing this? We handing them
I'm
in,
going
or
to
we-
say the Phantoms. You go around quickly and say
How do
what
we
you've
prove?
got.
Oh, do we
Yeah,
read
yeah,
it
just
out?
go around
Yeah,
quickly.
yeah,
Say,
right.
right, so the Phantoms, Marty.
New Zealand.
Jeez.
England.
England.
What team was it?
Derbyshire.
Derbyshire.
Phantoms.
Yes!
Right,
Yeah.
so
Bear in mind, then I didn't have answers for 2, 3, 4, or 5. Yet, so I'm
Mate,
not
I
too
might
carried
be
away.
winning.
Okay, so Cheese and
I
Ed
think
have
almost
both got
certainly
that one
winning,
right.
Chase.
Okay, so number 2, the Chargers.
South Africa.
India.
India.
Deccan Chargers.
Yes!
Oh, jeez.
Marty's struggling here.
That's Crowther versus Cheese. It's like a strongman competition.
Yeah. Okay, number 3, the Volts.
West Indies.
New Zealand.
South Africa.
New Zealand. It
Yes!
is.
Brendan McCallum.
Otago.
The Otago.
Oh, mate.
The Otago Volts. I think they're still a current team, aren't they?
Yep,
I
they
think
are.
they're still going, yeah.
Yep. Chopper would love that.
Yeah, okay, so the Tridents.
See, my problem here is that I said West Indies again, and I realised
Okay.
that's not a country.
Oh, well, yeah, that's fine. It's the league.
Okay, West
Yeah,
Indies.
the Caribbean Premier League, you mean, yeah.
West
Yeah.
Indies.
West Indies.
West Indies.
West Indies is
Yes.
What was their name?
correct. They're Barbados Tridents.
Barbados Tridents.
Can we just before again, can you please remind me what number 5 is?
United.
I mean, what do you do?
Okay, Marty, United.
I said Pakistan.
South Africa.
I got South Africa.
Pakistan is correct. Islamabad United.
Pakistan aren't united.
Well, we won't go down that road. So number 6, the Dolphins.
West Indies.
West Indies.
No, South Africa.
Yeah, they are I think the Nashua Dolphins
Yeah, I remember
from
them,
South
I remember
Africa.
I was going to change to South
So
Africa
Ed has
as well.
drawn level with Cheese now.
Oh no.
Number 7, the Heat.
Australia.
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 It's the Brisbane Heat. Is that all correct? Oh, God, I haven't got a tiebreaker.
Oh, mate, this is nerve-wracking, eh? I'm really fond of
Number 8, the Sabres.
I said Pakistan.
Pakistan.
South Africa.
Somerset Sabres.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So no one got that one. They're in England. Yeah, they're English.
It's a terrible name of Somerset.
Yeah.
It's really dreadful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Should be Somerset Ciders or something.
Ciders, yeah.
Much better, I see.
Summersby.
Okay, number 9, the Crusaders.
Well, I said South Africa.
Jeez.
India?
Ed.
I'm from Australia.
The Middlesex Crusaders.
Oh, don't we go watch those 5 times a summer?
Well, they're not called that anymore.
You gotta watch it every week.
When were they called the Crusaders?
They were called the Middlesex Crusaders
called
for
now?
like the first 2 or 3
I
years.
know they're the Panthers now, aren't they?
Yeah. They're, so
Are
that
they
was-
the Panthers?
They are now. They're
Yeah.
now the Panthers.
Right, so there's only one left then. It's currently Marty 3, Cheese and Ed on 5. So I'm going to have to come up with a tiebreaker potentially. The last one is the Phoenix, Marty.
I said West Indies.
Cheese.
South Africa.
Ed.
Pretty sure it was England.
It's Yorkshire Phoenix.
Yorkshire Phoenix.
So Ed wins. Well done, mate.
Well, that was just great.
Quite something different there, Joe. It was good.
Thanks for that, Joe. That was,
Well done, Ian.
Enjoy
that
that.
was wonderful.
Thanks, Joe.
Very good. Right, well, so Ed wins, and I think that draws Ed level with the overall leaderboard, actually, on quizzes. Me and Ed are...
Do we have any side bets along with our IPL bets on this, or is it just for pride? Or
Oh, we could do, yeah. I'm more than happy to.
Joe, I'd like a recount because you told me I had 2, but I won more than 2.
Well,
We'll have to listen
I
back.
think you'll just have to take that on the chin, to be honest. Right, okay, so we're going to move on then. We're going to talk about the IPL. We had a podcast on Friday, so obviously there's been a game or 2 each day since then. We won't go around and do necessarily the both teams or their research, but anyone want to start off? I mean, I'm still sitting fairly pretty over the top 2 positions with Mumbai and Kolkata Knight
Go
Riders,
on, talk about
personally.
your own teams, Joe. Go on. I know you want to.
Well, if you're going to force me, I think...
well, there was that fantastic game we were watching when we were podding on Friday, wasn't
Yeah,
there? So,
so-
I've got the Royal Challengers.
So RCB just seemed to be going from bad to worse. So they had... When we were watching when Badri took a
So they were 8 for 4.
Mumbai were 8 for 4, chasing 160 odd.
Yeah. And as well as Pollard played, you shouldn't get back from that.
No, you
should
should
have
be,
put some
you
money
should
on
be
that, eh?
losing when they're 8 for 4 chasing
Yeah.
160. But Mumbai just keep doing it. They seem to find ways. I don't think Pollard has played all that many games, but he brought it out of the hat and got a 70 odd at the end. And Kolkata Knight Riders, again, it seems to be that the death bowling in particular, I've noticed, mainly from the Indians, the local death bowlers that they seem to be winning a lot of games. I don't know what everyone else's thoughts on that on, but I don't know if it's because they're most used to the conditions, or I know there's some big name players that come in, like I suppose there's still Malinga, who's very good in those conditions, and I don't think Mills has been bowling at the death much, has he? I don't think he's been sort of opening maybe. But
The Gujarat Lions could do with their Indian bowlers turning up at the death. Or just turning up at all.
I think all of their players turning up would be just...
yeah,
We'll get to that, Marty.
yeah. So I mean, Mumbai then went on to beat Gujarat on Sunday. I think Gujarat got 170 odd. McCullum was back in the runs. He got 60 odd. Kartik got 41 not out. Mitchell McClenaghan's been bowling for Mumbai.
Mate, he's having a very good tournament.
Yeah, he's staying in the inner side, which is packed with a lot of big names. So he's done really well. He got 2 for 24 off 4 overs.
Didn't he used to be a male model?
Yeah, and he's one of those. What's that diet? The man food. They eat raw meat and stuff like that. What are
Paleo.
they? Paleo
Paleo.
diet. Yeah, he had a paleo company which went under, unfortunately, much. But tried his best
The caveman diet.
So he got 2 for 24 off his 4 overs.
and batted at 4.
Malinga got 1 for 51 off his 4.
Wow,
He got smashed around.
that's no good.
Well, he wasn't batting 4 the other day, but he did. He batted 4 on Friday. But then Mumbai came out and Josh Butler got another 20 odd. He seems to be just getting fairly sort of steady 20s at the moment. Pollard got another 30 odd. Sharma 40. I mean, Mumbai are just sort of cruising. I mean, they only had 3 balls left, but they seem to just be very, very professional, I think, at the moment. So they're looking pretty good, I've got to say. I think both my teams are looking good. You boys are going to have to.
Because you picked them.
I think you're probably right. I think probably the one team that's in the early stages that's sort of potentially matching them is the Sunrisers.
Yeah, they
I
look
think
good
that,
today.
the defending champs are looking pretty good. I think so far, Warner and Darwin have sort of been going almost game for game of actually getting some runs, which has been obviously very, very important. And of course, they've had the star of the tournament, at least in my eyes so far, young Rashid Khan.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's just been
young or
well, he's 18 according to the books. And,
yeah,
no. I mean, in all seriousness, no, he is he's performing really well.
He's unbelievably good.
He's been getting a number of wickets, but he's also for the times where he's not, he's really holding the run rate back, which is so important, I think, for these in that kind of defensive mindset.
Yeah,
it seems like a lot of the players just can't pick him.
Yeah.
And I don't know because he bowls quite quickly.
He bowls very quickly, and with like the control as a leg spinner as well. Particularly being able to land it on the same spot 6 balls in a row is pretty difficult. But to bowl it at that pace and then have a wrong and have a slider, have a big turner as well, that's going to be pretty difficult for a batsman to pick when it's coming through at that pace. If you bowl it slow enough, sure you can adjust.
Yeah.
But the pace that he's bowling at is, it's coming through at them. So.
I think you're right. I think that he's got him, and we've got Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, who's also becoming
a little bit...
He's brilliant.
Yeah, he's got to be...
5 for 19, or 5 for 20 he got the other day. 3 for 20 as well in the game before. I mean, he's
potentially the best bowler in the competition. When I keep saying this, but when England were on tour playing India in January, February, he played in that game where we only needed 8 off the last over to win or something, and he ended up taking 2 wickets. We got about 2 runs off the last over. He was just all over us.
No,
he's brilliant.
He's absolutely brilliant, and I think the one player that hasn't had much of a go, at least this tournament, which I think Cheese would be quite happy to hear, is a young Kane Williamson.
Yeah, mate, he's back.
Came out today and scored 89 on 50.
Yeah. Where's he been?
Hit 5 sixes as well.
That's exactly mine.
He hit 6s.
He hit 5 sixes.
Oh,
Where has he been? But honestly, I mean, you've got
in the gym by the sounds of it. That's where he's been.
A player of that skill, sitting on the bench and basically carrying their drinks. It's I think
it's unbelievable.
Yeah. He's class. Phenomenal. These guys, like we talked about Hashim Amla and Gambia last week. That kind of ilk, which Williamson's a similar ilk in 2020 cricket.
He should open
quality
really, and just bat through.
I think you've got Warner and Darwin who clearly basically won the tournament last year. But you put in Williamson at 3, then Yuvraj Singh coming in at 4, and all of a sudden Henriquez coming in at 5. It's probably a much more natural position for him. Then who are a very strong team? Like it's a really.
Who are the other foreign players that they're playing then? If Williamson's been left out, so they've got
who have we got?
So they've got obviously Warner, Henriquez.
There was some stupid
Cutting.
Who's
Cutting?
Ben Cutting. No, he's an Australian. But essentially, he's a bowling all rounder. Okay. But he hits a long ball.
Right.
So I think he didn't play the last couple of games, but he's got a few runs. I mean,
and obviously Rashid Khan's a foreigner, isn't he? Being Afghanistan.
Of course he is. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's another one. Yeah. No, it is baffling that someone like Williamson can't get into a 2020 side, but a domestic 2020 side.
I tell you what, if they can keep a team like they had on today, that's a pretty strong batting line-up, and the bowling line's looking really good. I think it's going to be hard to stop, which is in complete contrast to my other team, which is the Pune Super Giants, who are just a bit sad. I think more than anything. I mean, look at you've got Stokes and you've got Smith and Dhoni and Hart. I mean, how can this team not
too many big egos in one melting pot?
Maybe you're right, Ed. Yeah. Maybe you're absolutely spot on. But I tell you what, they're just rubbish. I mean,
Stokes has been doing.
He played well in the last game,
and he's got a 50 in the game.
What's happening every game is that you're getting cameos from players. You're not getting like a partnership, which I think in this form of the game, if you can get 2 players together who can score 40 each, then you're a long way towards winning. And I think what's going on is wickets are falling at one end. The bowlers aren't bowling in partnerships, and that's just a bit of a disaster. But the next game, we've got my 2 teams up against each other, which I'm looking forward to.
Oh, really?
Yep. So
I forgot that might happen. So who do you go for then?
I'm surprised it hasn't happened much yet at all.
The one who's most likely to make the playoffs.
Yeah, you want your gun team winning, don't you? So surely you're going to want.
Sunrisers will probably sneak it home, I think, in a close but brilliant match.
Yeah, fair enough. What about you, Ed? Is anything to report? I noticed Billings hasn't been getting any runs.
Yeah, he got 50 the game before this one.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he got 55. Oh. Yeah, played well. So I've got Royal Challengers and Delhi Daredevils. I made a big when I got the Royal Challengers. I thought it's easy to get sort of carried away when you see the top 3 of what the supposed top 3 would be if they played them all, of Gale, De Villiers and Kohli. But it's quite amazing. You have all these coaches and the support staff, and they obviously prep for the auction, all that sort of thing. They've not really got, apart from Badri, they've not gone out and got any decent bowlers. It's amazing how they've come up with such an unbalanced squad. And they've
Mills he's done all right, hasn't he?
Mills done all right, but they've, like again when we were podding on Friday watching that game, I mean Badri was brilliant, and they just couldn't back it up with anything. It was dreadful after that. And they've lost.
Kept bowling it in the slot, didn't they?
Yeah. And they've lost 4 out of 6 now, and the manner of that defeat won't be good for this. It's going to be a confidence drainer, that, isn't it? So, I'm actually feeling a lot more pessimistic than I was. I'd be surprised if the Royal Challengers make the playoffs now. I'd be very surprised. They've not got balanced.
De Villiers is injured again, but
really? But even before that, they dropped Gale for 2 games. It's mental.
I think we should just make a point about Chris Gale. Actually,
10,000 runs.
The universe boss.
The universe boss, as he's known to himself. It is worth mentioning though. So he got 70 odd on, was it Friday or Saturday? Sometime over the weekend
against the Lions,
and he's passed 10,000 2020 runs, which is the first man to do so.
At an average of 40.
1800.
18 centuries.
60, about 65,
40 that's
700 odd sixes. It's, I mean, you've got to give him credit. It's absolutely ridiculous. And, I mean, is he the best? I mean, it's been going, 14 years now?
So he's not even really played. He was, if he'd have got going earlier, he's not even had a full career at it, really, since he got going. I mean, we started our tournament in 03, didn't we? And then by the time he'd have got playing it, he'd have already been playing Test cricket for years.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, he hasn't been like a 2020... No, only a 2020 guy for years. Yeah. It's only the last few years he's been sort of doing the circuit.
The only other batter that had touched him in the last 2 or 3 years would be Coley, potentially De Villiers.
De Villiers, I'd
They're
say.
miles behind, though.
Exactly.
In terms of the best, it's been going 14 years now. Who would you say is the best? I mean, I think Gale's probably the most bums on seats. I think he's probably number 1, I'd say.
It's got to be.
In terms of, because when he was in his pomp, I mean, he still is to a point, but he's the sort of guy that if you're at the stadium and they start batting, his team starts batting, you want to watch him bat. You wouldn't go to the bar, or
are there any all-rounders?
You wouldn't leave your seat.
Any all-rounders that have been gun?
Not that sort of fill up a stadium like he would. No.
Look at the stats. He's the best. Isn't he? He's the best. There's nothing. It's not even comparable. Nobody's even close, are they?
I think to watch, De Villiers is right up there. But I remember when there's loads of things Gale's done. But when he took Brett Leopold in the Oval.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
We remember that.
We were in High Street Kensington watching that, weren't we?
Yeah. It was,
he hit it like 130 metres or something.
And he was just smashing it way back into the stand. And there's
slog sweep.
That's a while ago now. That's like what,
2009.
Was it that long ago? Yeah. So there's not many players that have done that. I mean, although you watched De Villiers the other last week and he was fairly impressive.
That was an incredible innings.
But I still think Gale's probably number 1. Really,
De Villiers has more done it in 50 over cricket. He's had those insane. Especially in the last World Cup, he's more done it in the 50 over game.
Gale's also the only man ever to hit the first ball of a Test match for 6.
Is he?
Which is quite an impressive
only man
stat.
ever?
Only man ever, yeah.
Who did he hit it off?
Bangladeshi spinner. So he was playing,
sorry, a Bangladesh spinner opened up
the Test match. West Indies batting first. Bangladesh opened with a spinner. And Gale just crashed him straight over long on first ball.
I bet they had a massive bet on that in the change room before. All the team would have put some money on, right? You've got to go and do this.
Yeah, 6 are out, first ball.
We'll all put in $100 if you go for it.
It's the only time it's ever been done, which is a cool little thing to have, isn't it?
That's brilliant.
There is one other piece of news, unless there's anything else anyone wants to bring up.
The Lions are terrible.
Yeah.
That's it. Don't worry about me.
I just thought there might be one other interesting piece of news that I just wanted to show you.
I did hear a funny, just while Joe's finding that, a funny post-match interview from Glenn Maxwell the other day when they lost. So they lost by 51, and the commentator asked, "Where did you lose out with the bat or the ball?" He goes, "Well, definitely with the ball, we gave him 30 too many easy." And as you can see, we've lost by 51, so that's where we lost it. And I was like, what a strange... He looked at the scoreboard as well and said that is a strange thing to say.
Conceded 32 many.
Yeah, we said, well, so
it's obviously that.
Yeah, that is. And as you can see, we've lost by 51, and that's where it's gone wrong. Good laugh. Yeah.
So maths not Maxwell's strong point. Okay, well, fair enough. Well, finally, I just wanted to ask, I wonder if anyone recognises this or fancy downloading it on iTunes. This is a new single come out of India this week.
Now give me an out, ik loud while he shouts.
Such it, isn't it?
Chalo ab ये steps करो बैठे हो क्यों seat पे नाचो नाचो
Is that actually him singing?
Sorry?
Do you reckon that's actually
That
him
is actually Sachin singing, yeah. So Sachin Tendulkar has joined a fairly unceremonious list of cricketers to have brought out his own single, and he's doing it with a Bollywood star who apparently commented on what a good talent he is with and behind the microphone as well as on the pitch. So
he couldn't say anything else, could he? I mean,
not really. No.
He'd be lynched in the street.
He'll sell millions of copies still.
Yeah, everyone's going to have that, aren't they, in India? So I'm not sure it's going to catch on too much. But anyway, good effort, Sachin. Good to see.
Well done, mate.
Anyway, I think that's probably about it for this week. Thanks everyone for listening. We'll be back, I think, on Monday next week with a continuation of the IPL and the County Championship, and potentially a bit of a countdown towards the Champions Trophy, which is coming a little bit later in the year. But for now, that's it from me. Thanks very much. Cheers, Money.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, G.
Thanks for listening, people.
Cheers, Ed.
Thanks so much.
Thanks very much. Goodbye.